Hi, it's Ashley with Random Project Mom, and today we're going to make tinted or colored wax to put over your painted furniture. I use mine over chalk painted furniture, but pretty much anything that you want to wax, you can use a tinted wax on, and it's very easy to make and doesn't take very many materials. I use Annie Sloan's soft wax, her clear wax, and then I use whatever color I want to tint it with paint. This is Bear's Stealth Jet. It's basically a black, and so this is what I'm going to tint my wax with today. You want to work in small sections because once you add paint to wax, it dries kind of like paint very quickly. So you're going to work in small areas, and so you want to work with small portions of wax each time because the wax will dry up just like the paint dries up. So I usually start with like about a spoonful of wax, and then I put it into a paper bowl, and then I take a tongue depressor, this one's already been working, and just dip it into my paint until it's wet with paint, and then I mix it into the wax that's already into the bowl, just like this. I've already started on this one. And you just mix it until it's all well incorporated and you don't see any more white chunks of wax in there. It's all the same color. There's no exact measurements on this because you just want to use how much ever wax you think you're going to use in a very small area, and then how much ever paint to make it as dark as you want it. If I wanted it darker than this, I would add more. If I wanted it lighter than this, I would add less. If I already mixed it up and I'm like, oh, it's too dark, I could add more wax to kind of filter it out some, thin it out some, the color. But this is pretty much how I wanted it, this dark gray color, and then I'll use this to put onto my piece of furniture. I don't use my regular wax brushes to put on tinted wax because I don't want to ruin them or stain them with the colored wax that I'm using, and you don't really need it. The paint thins out the wax just enough that you can use a regular paintbrush. I use just these little chip brushes. They're throwaway brushes. They're very easy to use, and I use them. Now, I still swirl just like you would your normal wax brush. I still dip it in the tinted wax and then swirl it on the side of my plate to get it really worked into the brush really well before I apply it to my furniture, because you still don't want a big glob of dark wax or something that you have to work and buff out later or smooth and even out. If you work it into your brush to where it's all even, then it'll go on your piece evenly. Work in the direction that you want the strokes to go, because it is going to leave a little bit of a stroke mark when you do it, and work in small sections, brush it on, and as dark as you need it, you know, keep adding more if you want it darker or thicker or more pronounced. And then when you get it how you like it, then take a soft lint-free cloth and wipe over it to wipe off any extra. It'll make it look smoother. It'll work out a little bit of the brush marks to make it look more natural, and it just looks all in all better, and it's the last step that you need to do. And that's it. That's all you really do, but you do need to work in small sections because it will dry, like one drawer at a time. You can make wax for more than one drawer, but you need to paint one drawer, wipe it, complete it, make sure it's how you want it to look before you move on to the next drawer, because if you try to go back later and fix something, it's going to be dried and there for good. I use this. I painted a dresser a very, very light gray, and I put this over the top of it, a very dark gray wax, and it sort of settled into all the grooves and it made it look very antique looking. I couldn't use my brown Annie Sloan dark wax because it's brown and gray. It just didn't really look right together, and so I really wanted a black based wax, and so I made this very dark gray wax. So that's it. I'll post a link to my blog so you can see the dresser that I did and how it looks with just the paint and then the wax on top, so you can see the difference that the wax makes, and then so you can see how that turned out. And I think that's it. If you have any questions, comment and I'll try to answer them. Other than that, thanks for checking out my blog. Happy painting!